just jump in or hit the hand button so I can actually see you. So thank you all for being here again. Just a couple little announcements here is we're finally shored down when we're going to be doing the conference. And so we'll be doing it right at the 1st of February this year, and we will be doing it in Las Vegas. So Chris Barr's given us permission to put tents in his backyard. So we'll just go. Is that okay, Chris?
Yes, that's fine.
All right, Chris, thank you. So, no, we're actually, the invites and stuff, Tony's just reviewing it and sending it out. And it looks like we'll be staying right down on the strip at the Paris Hotel. And so we're just getting everything ironed out at the end here. And so we'll be sending out the invites here for everyone to know. So appreciate it. Get signed up and get your deposits in. And so we can all stay together. It'll be a lot of fun, actually. So it looks like a fun conference. The other is next week we'll be rolling out a new program that we kind of came by it by accident, and it's while I was helping some of the new franchisees out in California, we were just talking about doing some services and stuff, and especially some stuff that could be done quarterly. And so I think Jeff and Jim are on the phone, and it just had to do with quarterly services and something that we could roll out to them as another way to make money and actually have revenue coming in during some of our slower times of the year. And so stand by for that, and we'll get you more updated on that. We're just getting the brochures and the advertising packets all put together, and we're trying it out here, and it looks like it's going to be a success. So anyway, we're going to talk today. This is a subject that we talked about 2 years ago, and it has to do with a little bit of networking. And so I have this question, and I asked this to the franchisees last time, is all of us know that there's things in this business that we should be doing, but we absolutely don't do them for whatever reason. And I came up with this list, and this was actually from the franchisees, is what do I know I have to do, but I'm simply not doing it. This is the list that actually came up from the franchisees, and if anyone wants to add anything onto this, please do so. More training, knowing that I've got to train my employees a little bit more. It's just easier for me to do it. Another one was marketing, is I know I need to do it, and every time I do it, I get results that I want. I'm just not doing it. It's getting out there and doing it. And knowing by doing so, it'll make all the difference in the business. Next one was just getting out of the office. Get in here and find that there's so much busy work and just get bogged down. A lot of times there's so much out there, you feel like I've got to take care of these little things. And so that also stops the marketing. It also stops the training. Setting time to get help is so busy that I can't find help. And we know that that's just one of those foundational things that we have to do, is we've got to get help, but finding the time to find help. Getting myself more focused. A lot of people, and it's not just the franchisees, it's business owners in general, is show up every single morning and we do whatever's right in front of us rather than having it focused and knowing that we're getting things done each day and actually having a checklist. Other was, keep going, more hiring, and especially the right people, hiring the right people. Things, doing it all myself. Another person told me I need 20 minutes just to get organized. So if you look, you start seeing a pattern. Some of the things that people were telling us, they don't change. Somebody wrote, I worry too much about what the employees think about me, or they quit and leave me alone. Is too many people give into employees because they feel like they will leave them. Another one, just making the plan. So a lot of these we're saying over and over. Focusing on dream clients, or the ones that are actually going to help me build my profit. Another one that people say, I get lots of leads and I just don't follow up with them. And after a time, and I think pretty much everybody on the phone would agree with me, because I've done the same thing, is someone gave me a lead and I forgot about it for a week because I was so busy, and then by the time I found the card again, I was almost too embarrassed to call. So I didn't. Some people just don't do future planning. I wanted to talk a little bit about referrals. Tony has been doing this boot camp for about 9 people. One of the things he's really pushed was doing networking and getting referrals, because we know that once we do those items, our conversion rate goes up a lot. And more people that we know, everybody knows 200 people. So if we get to know 200 people, our database goes up to 40,000 people. And even if we got 1/10 of 1% referral, that would be more work than we could handle. At least most franchisees could handle. So talk about what is the hardest thing about networking and referrals. And this came also from the last webinar that I did on this. Someone told me that the thing that I hate most about it is rejection. I just hate rejection. Going there and feel like I'm being rejected. Some people just hate actually going, because going to network and referral meetings is like going to the gym. You know you're going to benefit from them, but it takes an effort to go. And that's where a lot of people fall short is, you know, my wife was telling us we got a gym membership, and it took us 20 minutes from my house to get there. And it looked great when she bought the thing, but she says after a couple of weeks, she goes, the hardest thing was just knowing it takes me 20 minutes to get up and get over there. She goes, I feel the urge, and by the time I get up and get there, I don't feel the urge anymore. The same with networking is it takes an effort. When we go, we have to put our best foot forward. Usually have to dress up, get everything ready. Another thing that's hard for people about networking and getting referrals is actually starting the conversation. So out of this, you know, I asked the question is, why don't people do those things? We just made a list of things that are really hard for us, but a lot of times we just don't do that. Why do people stay where we are? Is it because we're comfortable? Usually that's not the case. Usually it comes down to people are scared, that they're afraid of something, and so they have fear. You know, we talked about the rejection, or, you know, that's usually what it is rejection. Fear really just stands for our false expectations appearing real, is we're scared of something. The fact of the matter is when we're out marketing, most people want to talk to us. When we're out networking, they're there for the same reason, is they want the same things as we do. Most people don't go just so that they can reject people, but we put that block in our mind that we are going to get rejected. So, you know, so what I took is From Good to Great. It's a great book, and I've referred to it so many times. And please, if anyone hasn't read that, it's a great book, Good to Great by Ken Blanchard. Talks about, you know, people hiring the right people, going to the networking events, how to get that business going how we want to. So he gives a little lesson on how we can get a new customer at every single networking event. And that's what I just want to talk about for a couple of minutes here. Is a lot of these coaching calls we're doing are I'm not trying to take up much time, and I'm actually recording them as well so that we can replay them in the future. So how do we go to a networking event and actually getting a referral every single time? And so I actually pulled this right out of his book, and so I'm going to read a little bit here, so don't fall asleep. It says, very few people find that networking comes naturally. If you've got a love-hate relationship with networking, you're not alone. Most people would rather stick bicycle spokes into their eyes than walk into a room full of complete strangers and start random conversations. Been there, done that. So if you can take your attention off your own misery long enough to observe the very predictable behavior of the people at the next networking event you attend, you'll notice virtually everyone doing the exact same things with the same self-defeating behaviors. You'll also observe clusters of insecure people gathered in small groups, having boring conversations with people they already know, eating lousy food to pass the time, and waiting for the real show to start so they can sit down and do nothing. Does sound familiar? Because this really isn't networking. This is called net breakfasting, net socializing, net procrastination, or something. But it certainly isn't networking. Ask any successful business owner, and they'll tell you that building a great network of relationships in your local market is a huge key to your success as a business owner and a great source of new customers. So why does it have to be so dang hard? The good news is that networking can be easy, and not painful. So if you follow these rules he's going to give us here, here's my system for getting at least one new customer from each and every networking event you attend. So rule number 1, based on sales math, was marketing as math, is the more people we come in contact, the more people, the better chance we have to actually get a referral. So it says if your lead to customer conversion rate is about 10%, that means for every 10 people you talk to, you actually get a customer. You'll need 10 leads to get that one new customer. Choose a networking event that's likely to be populated with people who match your ideal client. So the first part is actually choosing where you're going to go to, whether it's a BNI or it's a social gathering for a chamber of commerce or whatever it may be. Your goal is to come away from the event with at least 10 qualified business cards. Don't do 8 or 9, but you have to actually get 10, because if your number is 10%, you know it is, you got to get the 10. Once you have your 10 business cards, it's just a matter of working your conversation rate and letting the sales math run its course, knowing that it's 10%. Number 2, spend 4 minutes with at least 10 people. Most of these places, if you go to a lot of these networking places, there are the people that just go. If they don't see anything they like or they're bored, they just get up and they leave. Most of the business happens, that I've found, is after a lot of these places. There's a lot of networking events that I go where it's afterwards. It's at the bar, or it's after, where people are just sitting around mingling. That's where the real networking really happens, is that's when you're building that relationship. So it talks about the rule of 3s. Jump into a small group of people who look bored with the conversation, or even better, look for an individual who's stranded and needs someone to rescue them. In the first 3 seconds, make a warm, positive impression. Introduce yourself by name and get the name of the person you're talking to. And then in the next 30 seconds, find out what your prospect does, what kind of business they have, how long they've been doing it, and in the next 3 minutes, ask questions that get below the surface, where you're asking them. Dig deep and look for emotional type things, like what challenges do they have? What problems are they trying to solve or overcome? When those 4 minutes are up, ask them for their business card. They're always going to give it to you. Thank them for sharing and promise to call them that week. Then politely excuse yourself and move on to the next person. The reason you ask them is they may not even know what you're doing, so most people are inquisitive. They're going to want to know what you do too. That's why you only ask questions about them and then just tell them you're going to call them that week. Then you got to call them. Okay, rule number 3, focus intensely on each person you talk to. In those 4-minute segments, the person must feel that they're probably the most important thing that they could do right then. The conversation must be all about what's in it for them and not what's in it for you. Go to those networking events to give, not get. It's a lot like the BNI. Those of you that are in a BNI know that they call it giver's game. The more you give, the more you get back. So this sounds simple, but so few people truly understand it. As hard as it can be, wait to talk about yourself until you're asked. In fact, try to deflect the first couple of questions about you and keep learning about them until they insist on learning about you by repeatedly asking questions. The goal is to be interested, not interesting. The more interested you are in others, the more interesting you seem. When you do this for a couple of minutes, you'll see the magical thing begin to happen. That's where that is establishment of trust, because you truly want to know about them. Number 4, you got to be positive. Exude that positive energy. Energy emanating from an absolute passion for what you do in your business sets you apart from everybody else in the room. You walk in and just say, I own a home services company, and say it with that tone. That's not very interesting. In fact, that's boring. So a can-do attitude and the attractive ability to have fun will light up the room. If this kind of behavior doesn't come naturally to you, that's okay. It didn't for any of us. But what you can and must learn how to turn it on and off at will. Always arm yourself with quality questions and know what you're going to ask everybody. And you'll become the center of attention as people gather around to observe the liveliness and excitement of the conversations you're having. So the other thing is smile while you're talking to them, because people can feel it. A smile visually reinforces the positive energy you're seeking to create between you and that person that you're actually talking with. And number 5, make sure you follow up with them. You know, within the next 2 days, if you let it go for a week, people do forget about you. Call them or email all 10 people listed on the cards that you picked up. Set up a time to chat by phone. During that first phone call, be ready to communicate your unique selling proposition. That is, who you are and how you might benefit them, along with the next steps necessary to get a better understanding of their needs so that you can recommend the solution that will benefit them the most. Also, make sure you add them to your email database and start dripping marketing on them. Dripping marketing on them, what that is just every once in a while they let you know. People forget about us if we don't communicate with them all the time. Your goal for that first call is to discover at least 3 areas of pain that that your solution can address, and set up a face-to-face meeting. So you look at it, we can help with a lot of pain. The pain things that we can uncover are, people, there's a lot of people that can live longer if they're staying in their homes, and families don't having the time to actually take care of people. People just running out of time. Time is a great big pain. If we can actually save people time in their lives by providing the services we do, that's one of those pain points. And so just arm yourself so when you're going to people, you have those questions. And then your unique selling proposition and guarantee is what makes you unique in your industry. There are other home services type companies like us, but what makes, just Chris, what makes you unique? You don't have to answer the question, but think about why are you unique, especially in this particular area. Jim and Jeff, why are you guys unique down there in Southern California? John, why are you unique here in Utah? Jerome, why are you unique down there in San Antonio? The rest of you, in the places that you are, what sets you apart over your competition that makes you so unique that they should be calling you? You should know that, because what you want to do is become so unique that you set yourself apart from everyone else. It actually creates that niche. Then people will be calling. So basically the 5 rules again is set a goal based on your sales month. So if you know what your lead to conversion rate is, if it's 10%, you need 10 cards. Spend 4 minutes with at least 10 people at those events. Focus intensely on each person you talk to. Talk about them. Make sure you are positive with them, and then make sure you follow up. If you do those 5 items, you will get at least 1 job referral out of each one of those meetings that you attend. And if your average job is worth, well, I'll just say $150, but you do work for them twice a month, that could be worth, $3,600 a year just off this one meeting that you actually attend. So when you go to those, make sure each one of those meetings. I'm a president of BNI. I make a goal every single week to get a referral every single week, no matter what. And I always do. And so anyway, any questions about this? All right. If not, I am going to